It is yet again snowing in beautiful Madison County, Kentucky. It is also 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I have been out walking about because it is beautiful tonight. It is crazy bright tonight. I don't know what's going on with that. Right, so it is now T-minus 8 days until I start my way to China. And one of the questions I keep getting asked is how you get in there, as in travel arrangements. So I'm going to make a quick talk about what my travel arrangements are, how I'm getting there, and things I've learned traveling around internationally. And while we're doing that, you can walk around with me in the dark, although I think you can see pretty well tonight. And it is beautiful out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at that. Right, so my travel arrangements for my trip from Madison County, Kentucky to Chongqing, China. God, that name still sounds terrible. Still sounds made up. And slightly racist. But that's besides the point. I will be actually taking a bus from Lexington, Kentucky, which is just north of Berea and Richmond, Kentucky. And I will be taking it to Toronto. Why Toronto? Well, the answer is that it is much, much cheaper to fly from Canada to China than the United States to China. That is the biggest hint I can give you. If you're an American and you don't have a lot of disposable income to get to China, I would suggest you take a bus to either Toronto, Quebec, or Vancouver. And fly from there. I actually got my plane ticket from Toronto to Chongqing for about $477. No, that's not, yeah, that's right, 477 is I think what I paid. The bus ticket is $62 after everything is said and done. So I got to Chongqing for $450. No, that's not even right. $430, give or take. $440 maybe. Yeah, that's right. That is crazy inexpensive. The same flight with the same trip to Chongqing from, let's say, O'Hare is almost $1,000. Maybe not that much, $800-900. From Lexington, it's about $1,000. Is that worth a 19-hour bus trip? For me, yes. Some people, no. The actual flight is going to be from Chongqing, from Toronto to Shanghai, and then from Shanghai to Chongqing. I will be arriving at 11:55 at night and being picked up by my university, hopefully taken to my apartment where I can pass out. I'm not a huge international travel. I've done it some at this point. I'm getting pretty good at scheduling travel, though. The thing I learned from Japan, I suppose, is that I'm going to be packing light. Light's a relative term, however. The airline that I'm taking allows 2 check bags and carry-on. Standard international carry-on is 1 piece of carry-on luggage. In my case, it's going to be an assault pack. And 1 personal bag. Personal bag is a purse or a briefcase or a laptop case. In my case, it's going to be a briefcase that I have my laptop in. And my third piece of baggage is going to be a duffel. I'm actually not bringing 2 pieces of check bags. I'm only bringing 1. The check bag is going to be nothing but clothes and my hygiene kit for the most part. The point here being is my ultimate goal is to have everything arranged where I can walk comfortably with all my gear. Duffel bag over my shoulder, backpack, briefcase. Should be able to walk fine with that, which is good, because the bus station in Toronto is 6 blocks from the airport, and I'm probably going to walk it. Probably going to be looking for breakfast, because I arrive at 6 in the morning. One of the questions I ran across was somebody asked, how do you cross the U.S.-Canadian border in a bus? Well, really, the answer is the same way that you cross the U.S.-Canadian border in a car. The bus pulls up to the border crossing, pulls over in a little area reserved for the bus. Customs officers get on the bus. You show them one form of identification. In my case, it will be a passport, but it can be a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, you just prove that you're a U.S. citizen. You declare anything you have. What declaring is basically they're looking for alcohol, tobacco, firearms, antiques, something they're going to look for, so on and so forth. They're not looking for anything else. It's usually going to be verbal. It can be written. They can give you a form. In my case, I'm not going to declare anything. I'm not taking anything that they're looking for. And then they're probably going to ask you, what's your business in Canada? They're not being nosy. All you got to do is tell them business, travel, vacation, visiting friends, whatever. In my case, I'm going to tell them, it's a business trip, followed by travel. No problem. It'll probably take an hour. It's actually calculated into my bus trip. That is my biggest hint I can give people, is pack light. Bring things you can't find in your destination, in my case, China. Clothes, for instance, are not one of those things. You can buy clothes in China super, super easy. Usually cheaper than we get them here. You can have things tailored in China and Japan, super cheap. And I would suggest you do so. China's going to be kind of a change in pace for me. Japan, the clothing there, you're usually expected to be very professional, which I enjoyed because I use any excuse I can to wear a suit vest. Oh man, it's so pretty tonight. I mean, just look at this. I'm gonna miss snow while I'm in Chongqing. In China, apparently, you can get away with teaching in flip-flop shorts and a t-shirt, which will be nice when it's really hot. But that brings me to the next point about traveling, or more specifically, airports and customs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bit more poignant in the U.S. than Canada, which is another point going through Toronto. Profiling is morally objectionable, ladies and gentlemen. It is, however, completely illegal. The Supreme Court, United States, clearly stated such. It's also not effective. But it is something you should think of. For instance, I have a beard. I should I should trim before I go. I don't want to, and don't get mad at me, look like a terrorist. I'm not saying people with beards are terrorists. I'm not even saying it's common. I'm saying it is a stereotype, an unfair one. Don't look like a mountain man. If you do, you are more likely to get randomly searched or more thoroughly searched. I'm not saying this to encourage people to sneak shit past customs. You will get caught. I'm saying it, you know, to ease your travel arrangements. Same thing goes with clothing. Try to be the best dressed person in the line is my general rule. I myself, when I travel in the bus, am probably going to go with a business shirt, khakis, a tie, and a suit vest. That's probably what I'm going to be wearing. And my winter coat, which is a very nice dress coat. Does that, and a scarf and a hat, because I'm a stylish motherfucker. Does that mean I'm going to wear the, you know, vest and the tie the whole trip? Hell no. I am not taking a 19-hour bus trip in a three-piece suit, ladies and gentlemen. I am, however, going to have it on hand. I will have it on me at certain points in the trip. Going through customs, going across the border. Look like, yeah, if you look like a bum, they're not necessarily going to think that you're a criminal. But if you look like a businessman, they're going to look at you and go, oh, he's a businessman. He's here to do business. No problem. That's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Dress up for customs. It will save you a hassle. That is my those are my travel tips. Also, do your research. Figure out what you can and cannot buy in a foreign country. Caucasian men, bring deodorant. There's a discussion I have had on the internet. Is somebody asked the question of why do Caucasian men stink? That sounds racist. The person having the discussion was racist, a blatant racist. It is not a racist question, though. If you're Chinese or Korean or Japanese, Caucasian men do stink. I've been told we smell like hamburger or fast food on occasion while I was in Japan. I actually had a Japanese individual ask me the question, why do Americans smell like fast food? My internal monologue answer was to counter with the question, why do Japanese men smell like fish? That's not racist, ladies and gentlemen. Japanese men tend to smell of fish when they sweat. That is a very important note. I've had people tell me in Japan, I don't smell like fast food. They were confused by this. They were like, oh, you don't smell like an American. I've been told I smell like peanut butter when I sweat. That's weird. But the point is men stink when they get hot and sweaty, people. And you are going to smell like what you eat for the most part. And people from another culture are going to pick up on the smell that is least common in their society. The Japanese don't eat a lot of red meat. They're going to pick up on that red meat processed burger smell if you eat a lot of burger. If you eat a lot of fish, you're going to smell like fish to somebody who's not used to that smell. There are any number of racially insulting and insensitive smells you can say people smell like. I'm sure some people in Korea smell like kimchi. I've worked with a few Korean individuals, and they smelled slightly of kimchi when they sweat. Same thing with Indians, curry. And that can be very insulting. You can use that as a racial insult. My point here is not to point this out. My point is to explain to you what's going on. You're going to stink in China. Chinese people will tell you Caucasian men stink when they sweat. Bring deodorant. It is not common in China. And that's the point. Do your research. Figure out what you need to bring. Medication, ladies and gentlemen. Bring at least a 3-month supply of medication. I'm taking basically a whole year worth of the one medication I take on a regular basis. It's not going to be a big deal. It's a super inert medication. It's not a, it's not a big deal. I'm not transporting opiate across, lines. But the point is you have, bring your medication. Make sure it is in, the proper container. You might get asked about it. That's all I've got on traveling, ladies and gentlemen. So we're instead going to have a really quick discussion. I had on the phone walking around at 3 o'clock in the friggin' morning in the snow. And that is that there is a definitive healthy market in the world for individuals with no responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen. No responsibility, what do you mean? Well, I'm 23. Almost 24. I don't have any kids. I don't own a house. At this point, I don't have a car. I have, with the exception of feeding myself, no outgoing bills. None. That's important, ladies and gentlemen. I can get up and move, no problem. That is a marketable skill. And I'm not getting any younger. And neither are you if you're thinking about teaching English. And on top of it, ladies and gentlemen, it's a marketable, useful skill. You can make money with lack of responsibility out there. Of course, I'm not saying go to wherever you're being and be completely irresponsible. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying having no connections is a marketable skill. And if you're thinking about teaching English, absolutely do it. Just, do your homework. Know what you're getting into. Be flexible. Remember that if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. Finish your contract. Go home. Finish your contract. Go somewhere else. Do something else. The job market for teaching English, I don't think it's going to be there in 30 years, 20 years. I think English really is going to become the business language around the world. It's going to become so prevalent that it's really going to kill the market for it. Technology is also really going to kill the market for teaching English. Remote teaching. Effectively universal translators. Google is getting pretty close to that, ladies and gentlemen. The internet is probably going to kill English teaching to a certain degree. Does that mean there will be no jobs in 30 years? No. But I would definitely take advantage of it now. It is stunningly bright out tonight. Portrait. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, don't let, worries about being outside your comfort zone worry you. Because the thing is, in my experience, the people who try English teaching and don't like it and freak out and go home, they're the ones who, I guess, rely too much on a comfort zone. I don't know if it's a byproduct of not having a comfort zone or having a really broad comfort zone that I operate so well outside my outside of said comfort zone. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let stuff bug you. That's the thing. Revel in challenge. Enjoy the differences in people, in cultures. I guess that's all I've got to say. I actually rambled quite a lot at the end of that. Traveling. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go and tell you this. If you're planning to go to China or Japan or wherever, and you have trouble with traveling or questions about traveling, actually feel free to ask me. I'd love to help somebody undertake this kind of adventure in their life. Thanks for listening, and have a great one.